Hello and welcome to another episode of the Anime Lounge Short Flights. I'm your host Lance, here to talk about Ragna Crimson, episode 15. And if you guys have been following me up to this point, you know that I read the manga along with every episode so that I can compare and contrast everything that's going on in between. And today's episode takes place of chapters 33 and 34. Not too many chapters, but they were freaking long chapters. Holy crap. They took me forever to read. Maybe I'm just a slow reader, but they were long chapters. Compared to Undead Unluck, these chapters are much longer. So that's really interesting to compare and contrast these. Anyway, these chapters are 100% on par with what's going on in this anime. I didn't catch a single difference. So nothing to share here. But let's talk about this episode itself. Amazing episode. Finally get to get a little bit of information about Crimson. I'm so interested in him. And we get to really dive into who he really is because in these past couple episodes, he's been really coming across as a female. And they really explain it to us point blank here because he's just trying to make everybody love him. And that's why he's trying to make the Fu, the guy with the demonic arm, the dragon arm, fall in love with Crimson because Fu thinks that Crimson's a girl, so he makes out with him anyway. And I thought that was pretty interesting. That's one thing I can say from the manga and the anime is that makeout scene definitely wasn't as graphic as it was as the anime. It was just a kiss in the manga, so that's the other difference I can pull. Anyway, Crimson, very interesting. It's the biggest takeaway we could take from this episode because Crimson's so interesting. I don't know if you guys caught this from the episode, but the reading the manga helped me put a name to the person with the magical teleportation blood, and they call her Miss Witch, and she's of high interest right now. I don't know what to say. This is so crazy because this little group that the Silverware Princess has put together, everybody is so amazing. Those flying twins, those got to be semi dragons going on. They're crazy. I'm pretty sure one of their limbs came off and then they just drank blood and put it back together. I need more information on them. They are just constantly interesting. Shin, the little guy who's running around with Ragna, he's just amazing. Not seeing much like dragon potential coming out of him, unlike everybody else that's going on in this crew. So Shin's pretty much I don't know, he's interesting. But back to Fu, he's getting his ass kicked by Crimson. And we know that he's got the dragon power. He's got some dragon arm power. And we learned that his blood is the one that's counteracting, or not counteracting, but reacting with this magic circle. So he's essential to this magic circle for teleportation, which is really strange that now Crimson is teleported away from Ragna. Whoa, I don't even know what to imagine what's going to happen. So much crazy. Where did she go? I'm so interested in what's going to happen there because she's trying to brainwash everybody that's in this complex. I love the fact that she's brainwashing everybody too. It's like all these normal people, they're shooting everybody with big smiles on their faces. I thought that was kind of funny. That's really as far as I can take that one. Enough about Crimson. Let's go back to Ragna. Ragna is running through the forest with Shin, cutting down hundreds of dragons. We're talking about like big dragons, like mature dragons, something that's supposed to be super, super powerful. And he's just cutting them down like nobody's business. He's pissing off Olto Zora, and I'm kind of hoping we get an interaction on the next episode. They're moving through this forest way too fast for it not to be the case. And throughout this whole process, Ragna is trying to convince himself that if he puts himself through hell, he can get closer to his future self. And we already know that his future self went through hell in order to get to where he was. Blah, blah, blah. Let's go back to the very first episode where his future self gave today's self all of that power. So I'm very confused on why he's interested in becoming his future self if he already is his future self. Hope I didn't lose you there because I'm lost on that whole concept too. Like he is his future self. So why is he trying to put himself through hell? I don't know. Maybe he's trying to, it's got to turn out to be him being better than his future self at this rate if he's going to continue putting himself through hell. I don't know. I guess like I was saying, at this point, I'm expecting Olto Zora to finally get off his freaking throne and start doing some action himself because it's time. and Ragna's already there. It's time for some real action. And yeah, also at the same time, I'm interested in Crimson. So what's going to happen to him? What do you guys think of this episode? I thought it was fantastic. I can't wait for the next episode. And with that being said, I'll just see you guys next week.